So the C part, these big companies, tech companies need, that are, let's say, cheap parts.
Relatively cheap parts indeed. However, think about screws and nuts. Without the screws and nuts being available, you cannot bolt the machine together. Maybe they create less value, but they are very valuable for our customers.
What we see is that our customers or the high-tech machine builders are looking for integrated solutions to manage their inbound supply chains. And this is about thousands of suppliers, millions of products. To manage all that on a global scale is extremely challenging.
Yeah.
The production stop is mega expensive for them, super expensive.
That's where you come in. You take care of the fact that these big companies, they do not have a production stop. This is Still Supply Conductors, a specialist podcast about integrated supply chain management. We are all using thousands of chips per day integrated in all the devices and machines around us. And of course, we rely on top-notch medical devices when we need them. It's just two examples. Two examples of an industry, and the industry that goes behind all this is a very complex business. Well, in this podcast, I will ask a specialist of Mac45, a Dutch supply chain company, to open and present this world to me. My name is Maarten Bouwhuis. Welcome to Still Supply Conductors. And welcome here with me today, Bauke, Zeinstra, CEO of Mac45, and Dennis Halberstadt, Manager Project Management of Mac45. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Today we'll talk about, in this episode, I would like to talk about the complexity of the supply chain business you're in, and we'll focus on the high-tech industry. What makes the supply chain of this high-tech industry so complex?
Yes, Maarten, in your introduction you talked about chips.
Yeah.
Well, this is the semiconductor space. Let's talk about semiconductor space. The semiconductor machines, the production machines producing the chips are getting more and more complex with every technology cycle that they are in. We also see that the level of technology is just so much higher than 2 or 3 cycles ago. So what we see is that these supply chains, which these semiconductor machine builders use, are getting longer, more global, very difficult to understand, but also very complex to manage.
Yeah. So it's very tough for the industry itself to manage all their suppliers.
Yes.
And they have hundreds of suppliers or thousands of...
Well, these parts, we're talking C parts. So this is not the A and the B parts of the most important components. This is the C parts. So this is the smaller parts.
Because the most important components, they create themselves, or they have suppliers for that as well?
They also have suppliers for that themselves.
Yeah, but that is the main engine, for example, of these big machines.
Yes. Yeah, these machines can be as big as this building.
So, and you're providing the C parts?
We're providing the C parts to basically connect all the components to one machine. This is tens of thousands of components. This is thousands of suppliers. And it's getting more global. So these parts are produced across the globe. And to manage all these complex supply chain structures for machine builders is very difficult.
And does a machine engineer, that's a whole team of course, have a view, have a vision of itself of all the components they need?
Well, that's an interesting question. There's only a few persons in these type of companies that know the full design of the machine.
Wow.
Yes.
They're paid a lot.
I guess so.
I guess so.
It's not my paycheck, but I
would
guess so.
say every machine has its bill of material, so that's documented. So they know what goes into a machine.
Yeah.
But like mentioned by Bauke already, typically companies focus on the A, B parts because those are the most expensive ones. And the C, we call it tail parts, has less focus by our customers.
So the C part, these big companies, tech companies, high-tech companies need, that are, let's say, cheap parts.
Relatively cheap parts indeed. Yeah, correct.
But
However,
you need a lot of them.
Indeed, and think about screws and nuts.
Okay.
Without the screws and nuts being available, you cannot bolt the machine together. You cannot assemble it. So even though they are less, maybe they create less value, but they are very valuable for our customers, clearly.
And Bauke, you're in the business of managing this supply chain for them, till supply. So these C parts, you're managing that for your customers.
Yes, that's correct. The tail, which they use, which they call the C parts, is obviously not so much in the value, but more in availability. So if these parts are not available, the machine builders cannot, let's say, build a machine, and they have a production stop.
Yeah, so if I can have a very complex car. I've got a new EV. That's a complex car. But if it misses the screws, it can't drive as well.
Yeah, that's
correct. What it is. But it's not a complex part, a screw.
Yes, but without comparing your car with a semiconductor machine, it's more.
Sorry for that.
more difficult. But if these parts are not available, are not on stock, there is production stops, and a production stop is so much more expensive for our customers than not having
the most important machine of the most important core product?
No, more than the value itself.
Okay. Yeah. A production stop is more expensive for them.
A production stop is mega expensive for them, super expensive.
So that's where you come in. You take care of the fact that these big companies, because it's our global big customers that you have, they do not have a production stop.
Well, that's basically what we are there for, is to make sure that they do not have production stop or let's say a shortage of stock on C parts. So what we see is that our customers or the high-tech machine builders are looking for integrated solutions to manage their inbound supply chains. And this is, like I said before, it's about thousands of suppliers, millions of products. To manage all that on a global scale is extremely challenging. So our customers are looking for service providers who can help them manage these type of complex structures.
What's the idea? You just buy in all the parts, you have it in a big distribution center, and you providing it to your customers, or does it work differently?
Yeah, there comes much more to it. In essence, yes, we buy products, we source products, and we supply them to our customers. However, beyond that, instead of just supplying products, we are also looking at the logistics. So how, for instance, what needs to be the reorder points? How can we help our customers to minimize stock levels in order to positively contribute to the cash flow? Beyond that, we're also looking at the processes. So what is involved for an engineer, for instance, at our customers to get a product in their hand? Think about the engineer needs a product. So he needs to go on the internet to look for the part, obtain a quote from a supplier. Then he needs to work, he needs to place a PO. All these kind of things are costing a lot of engineering time, which you don't want to happen. And that's where we come in, because we take a lot of that burden, I would say, and handle it for our customers.
But that's interesting. So you're more like a consultancy company then? It is in a way. It's consultancy work.
It is because we also provide, for instance, logistics advice reports, which is some kind of consultancy. But it's not just consultancy. We're also executing it. To give an example, there we are also installing people from Mac45 at our customers' premises who support them to run technical warehouses, who supply goods to them, who do the replenishment of certain items at the customer.
Yeah. So there's an added value for your customers and specifically for this engineer.
Yeah.
Because this engineer, he has lack of time, so he don't want to work on managing his suppliers.
Yeah, correct. But it goes farther than that. Also, for instance, if you look at the administrative processes which are involved, for instance, a finance department, we can work with consolidated invoice as opposed to invoicing every order. We send a monthly invoice, which reduces the workload for a finance department, for instance. And I would like to come back also to the, let's say, the C parts, the simple parts, right? If you look at the semicon industry, they need every single part to be delivered cleaned. So that means those machines are being assembled in clean rooms. So that adds complexity as well. And this is something we handle for our customers as well.
I've been in a clean room once.
Okay.
For a radio show, an interview. And I thought this is the cleanest area I will ever be in life.
You might
because
be right
it's
about
cleaner
that.
than my house, of course.
It is.
Probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, it's cleaner than your
It was
house.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you have to provide clean parts as well.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah.
So do you have a cleaning facility yourself?
We have a cleaning facility ourselves where we assemble, for instance, kits. That's also a good example how we support our customers to create less workload. What is a kit? Within a kit, there are 15 items. Customers are using that, for instance, for maintenance. So whenever a machine needs to be installed, they know, okay, we need those parts. So then they order this maintenance kit and we supply it under one part number, but they do have 15 items. And those items we assemble, the kit is being assembled in our own clean room. We do not have yet cleaning capabilities ourselves. So we use partners for that.
Yeah. But it's a specific kit in this example. Because if that's not provided, we have a production stop.
No, I wouldn't say so. But then our customer needs to order 15 single components, and we are
that's the case.
Yeah, we are just providing one.
So you're working on site at the customers, trying to help them, trying to manage all their suppliers, and they have, of course, other companies helping them as well, because you can't work on all the parts, I think, of a big high-tech company.
No, that's correct. We are.
So you need to work together then as well.
Yes, we also use partners, but we also work with other partners for our customers, obviously. But we are an independent service provider, so we carry basically all the categories that our customers need, whether it's electrical, mechanical, pneumatic, or personal protection equipment. We carry basically all the categories, but obviously there's also specialists who help us service our customers. The fact that we do it in an integrated solution, that makes us special. So we are basically...
So the definition of integrated in this case is?
Well, what we do is we basically bolt together logistics service, supply chain service, and sourcing services. So the full supply chain is in our space, and our solutions, our premium solutions, basically servicing the full integrated supply chain. Like Dennis is working with projects with customers from basically where our suppliers produce the parts or the components up to where the customer is building the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about clean rooms. You know, this is dust free. This is full dust free. So our people are also focused on can I supply our services in this environment? And yes, they have to get dressed, and it takes them half an hour to get dressed for the clean room. But basically, this is what we invest in.
Yeah, they cleaned my microphone for that.
Yeah.
Some parts are being shipped directly from the supplier to your customer?
Could be. It's really depending on what is the most effective supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
What we also do, what was mentioned by Bauke, things are getting more global, supply chains are getting more global. So whenever there's a possibility, we would like to source items locally as well. We do have global contracts in place with our suppliers, but that will definitely help, I would say, our overall carbon footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Helping to make this a better world moving forward.
So the deeper you're into the operation of your customer, the better you can perform as an integrated supplier, but the more dependent they will be on your work.
Yeah, we definitely do see it as a partnership. We work on long-term partnerships with our customers, and what you say is correct.
Because that's then the aim, to have a long-term partnership and a
Yes.
deeply integrated partnership as well.
Yeah, it's not so much dependency; it's service. So it's an outsourced services. It's an outsourced service where our customers are looking for, let's say, total cost of ownership reduction. So there's on the different parts of our offering, we have plenty of competitors. They can source for you. They can do supply chain activities, or they manage your logistics. But to have it in an integrated solution, that is basically what makes Mac 45 special.
Thank you so much Bauke and Dennis, for this talk, this first episode about integrated supply chains. The podcast Till Supply Conductors, it was a pleasure. You were talking about total cost of ownerships. Our next episode will be about cost reduction.
That's a nice bridge.
Because you want to provide that as well to your customers, of course. Then we'll take a deep dive into that. Take a look on the website, of course, of Mac 45 for more detailed information. My name is Maarten Bouwhuis. Thank you for watching.